And then about 5-6 years later, we ended up making it. So to answer your question,
It took that long.
Yeah. So
wow.
I wrote the first intonation of Ethel 10 years. It had been 5 years before I met Trish that I wrote my first version of it.
Was the theme always Alzheimer's? Was that
the theme was always Alzheimer's? So it was a true story. When I was about 17, 18, I was coming back from the cinema. I used to work at a cinema. We'd been doing like a late night screening for us to watch a film. I think it was The Matrix or something. We watched something before going home because that was one of the perks. And I found this old lady on a roundabout in a nightie. And she was telling me she was going to go see her mum who lived down the road. So I was like, there's something not right here. She's in a nightie, she's got no shoes on, all that sort of stuff. So I walked her home, back up the way she'd come from, which was luckily just around the corner from where I lived at the time. Her name was Pearl. I think she was 92. I found out from her family the next day or next week. And I got into her house and there was Post-it notes everywhere. And she had some sort of dementia, Alzheimer's, some sort of cognitive issues, and it just struck a chord. And at the time, I was a big weed smoker, and liked the idea of juxtaposing like what people thought of as weed smoking hoodlums being one side and a frail old lady as the other, and what would usually happen in that sort of scenario. Brainstormed it with a couple of friends, and we eventually got to this sort of like, it should just be you lead the viewer down one path and it ends up being something else, which is what the film ends up being. Yeah, so that was the background to the story, and I did that when I was about, I was young. That would have been about 18 to 20. I wrote that whilst I was just about to go to uni. So I've got probably about 10 to 15 projects at the moment, all in various stages of writing, and then you just sit on them and wait until the right moment comes along, and you know when that right moment comes along, and then you like jump at it with everything. And if it doesn't work, which 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work, but at least you've tried in that moment when everything's aligned for it to work, which is what happened with Ethel. I put my neck above the parapet, said, here's my scripts to Trish. Trish liked one. It spiraled from there.